Welcome to Lock Picking Legend.
And yes, indeed, what's going on here? And yes, indeed, you are watching Lock Picking Legend. And before we get into this, right, this lock that I've got here is from an AUDI RS6. Lovely motor. That's a nice bit of kit you got there. But it's a vag lock.
No.
Steady. Yeah, we don't need to go there. It's a vag lock. That's a VAG group, but there's no full stops. There's no periods. Oh no, that didn't help. What are we looking at? Volkswagen, Audi, Seat, Skoda, Bugatti. Yeah, go from Skoda to Bugatti. Lambos, Porsche, Ducatis. Man, there's a lot of motors use the HU66 lock. And as a auto locksmith, if you had a vag lock, you'd get out your HU66 Lishi. Jobs are good 'un.
Intermission.
I mean, back in the day, you could even rake a lot of HU66 locks with these inner groove picks. Put it in, apply a bit of tension, stick the rake in. It's got like 2 half diamonds almost either side, and you just rake it. Very effective. And there's still a lot of vag group motors out there that use that original HU66 lock. And back to the main feature, please. So I can't remember exactly when it was. I think it was about 2021. They thought, hang on, this is no good. So they then brought out 3 more picks. The HU162.8, the HU162.9, and the HU162.10. If you were called out to a vag car, you'd usually just have your HU66. Now, you need all 4 picks to make sure you can get it open, which is what you need when you need to get into someone's car. Now, here's where it gets weird. I'm not here to waste your time. I'm going to tell you something now that a lot of lock pickers don't. I'm very good at picking auto locks with Lishi picks. Been doing it for years. Been doing it since they didn't exist.
Legendary.
That sounds weird, but when it was you had just the pick. The reason they're called 2-in-1s is because it's a pick and decoder. Years ago, it was a pick and a decoder separate tool. I think it might have been called a key reader. I'll leave a link to a blog about the evolution of Lishi, how they went from the very basic blind picks, as they were known as, to today, obviously the automobile stuff, but the pin cylinder picks. I'll leave a link to that blog in the description. So the reason I tell you I'm pretty good at this is, unless you've practiced, this is going to take you a long time. I don't want to pretend that you can buy yourself a Lishi 12610 and open this lock in as little time as I do. On top of that, it takes longer to prepare this lock. Why? Because they fill it full of grease. Why do they fill it full of grease? 1, lubrication, yeah, obviously, but 2, because it makes it harder to pick with a Lishi, as I will show you maintenant. That's French for now. So here's the pick. Look at those little sidebar things. Did you see them? Right. There's the show you. I got that lock off of an internet marketplace. So there you go, the AUDI RS6. Brand new lock. Can sometimes help, but sometimes doesn't. Make sure all your picking tips and those sidebar picks are all in within the blade before you put it in, because they're very delicate, and if you put that in and they're sticking out, snap. Right, now watch this. What I'd usually do is go round and just check that all the wafers are working. Look at that feedback. When I push it down on the pin, duh. See, it's got like a dull duh. The spring is full of grease. Even these sidebar ones, look. Look, that should ping back. Well, not ping back, but it should have a little bit more spring on it than that. And that will mean I won't be able to identify set bounce. And if I can't identify set bounce, I won't know whether that wafer's picked. Now, some of these wafers will be serrated, but Lishi have learned how to deal with that. Is get a bit of GT86 in there. Now, some people will use something like brake cleaner. The problem is that will get rid of the grease. It will dilute that grease to nothing, meaning that lock is then open to erosion, corrosion, and you're going to cause your vehicle owner all sorts of trouble. But a bit of GT86 does just enough of a trick. I mean, it's going to need a little bit more, to be honest with you. I mean, it's better. You can see there's a little bit of a better spring back. But what I'm going to do... Look, I can't pick that. That's jokes. Isn't it funny? All the years that have gone into manufacturing locks. I mean, they're putting these on Lambos and Bugattis. And the highest element of security on this lock, on this Audi RS6 lock, is putting loads of grease in it. And I'm not even joking. So what I've actually had to do is put more of that GT86 in and go through every wafer, just giving it a bit of up and down, you know, a bit of the old in out, just to clear the grease out. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me do that for much longer, so let's cut and pick this damn lock now. Right, normal Lishi picking. Go through all the wafers, looking for a binder. There's one, got a click. Little bit of set bounce on that one. Go back up here. Just go through them, looking for binders. Is that binding? Yes, it is. And there, that's set. What's this one doing? Nothing, no resistance there. I'm looking for resistance. That's what they are. That was resisting, so that was binding. So I picked it. And I'm just going through them, no particular order. I'm just looking for binders. Have a look at these weird little sidebar things. Same again there, a bit of resistance, picked it. Nothing on that. There's a bit of resistance there, but the two seem... Oh, I don't know though. No, nothing. One's resisting. Two's resisting. Slight bit of counter rotation. Probably a serrated wafer. It's very slight, but you can see it on my tension arm. It's counter rotating. That's what. That's how you identify a serrated or a spool pin, a security pin essentially. But we know how to deal with them. We take off a tiny bit of tension, continue to apply pressure to the pin, and we pick it. Let's go back to these ones. I'm looking for set bounce to let me know I've set it. They all seem fine really, so I reckon it's one of this lot. Probably this two. This two's been a bit of a, you know, a bit of counter rotation. Wow. Let's try the one. Something round here is causing me problems. I know that much. Which will probably mean it will be the open sesame when I finally get there. That's binding. That's been picked. I thought it had. Serration probably. There are next serration. 4. Set bounce on 1. Again, 2's very weird. Let's go back to these bad boys. when you're picking those sidebar ones, you will lose other wafers. You know, you've got some very deep cuts here. That too is very deep, so I'm having to go so deep in that I'm losing wafers on the main body of the tool, you know, on the markings. You know what I mean. And so you can see, look, we've lost some here. Counter rotation there as well, no problem. It's amazing really that the security pins are not a problem for a Lishi. Yes, you'll have to pick them a couple of times, but better than not being able to pick it at all. Just check the sidebars. I still think it's that 1 or 2. It's the first time I've picked this lock, so I'm not quite sure why it's taken so long, but it's definitely something to do with these two. I'm convinced. Never be convinced. Never say definitely. Never be 100%. Please focus, because the money shot surely is going to come any minute now. Yay! There you go. Audi RS6, HU162. Well, not really. H162 brackets, 10 brackets. Give the video a look at all the grease in that. Look, that's after I cleaned it out.
Intermission.
The first thing I'm going to do is degrease my Lishi. Almost sensual. Ta-da! I'm sure there's something I've missed out, or I was meant to say or do. Ah, balls.
No.